Yo, what up? It's Donut, and you tuning in to all your Illuminati news. Today, we're going to go over the strange Davos elite rituals. Prepare now! The smart grid activated as 200 million Americans face the storm. How is everybody doing today? As you enter the room, please smash that like button. Much appreciated. And share the video out. So let's get right into it. A lot of stuff is breaking at Davos, the World Economic Forum. They started this ritual with Marina Abramovic. She's the head of Hollywood. This goes into the Illuminatis 100% and the strange rituals that the elite do. On astrological alignments, this started right after the energy of the new moon and the eclipse energy of turbulence. So I'm seeing some turbulence happening here in the next month or so, probably in the markets. But Davos was dedicated to the blue Davos. What is blue Davos? It's all about the water. The year of the water, as we're in the year of the fire horse. So there's this polar vortex ritual happening with this polarity, this duality, maybe not polarity, I don't know. This duality of the black and white of water and fire. And we're seeing it all over Davos and here in America as we have this storm that we're about to face where the National Guard is going to be deployed for 200 million Americans as we're entering the year of the fire horse, which is all about fire. And Davos is dedicated to water. That's weird, right? The year of the fire, the year of the water. It's not that weird, because we're in that same time of the elections of the polar vortex rituals, which we've been covering here, how everything is this magnetic charge for these occult rituals. Last year, we had half of America on fire with the Cali fires and half of America freezing. And even during the elections, which is around January 20th, right? It's the polar vortex rituals of the Republican Democrat, bringing the souls to the polls, get the vote of the electrons, the electric elections. Or maybe that's a little too woo-woo-y for everybody, but we see the cold here. And not only is ice and fire all over the news, the ice and fire, but also there was a fire at frickin' Davos. There was a fire that happened and Davos conference was evacuated. What do we know? Some people were evacuated at the World Economic Forum in Davos after a fire alarm was triggered at the convention because of smoke from a fire at a nearby hotel. Was that an accident? Who knows what's going on there? Please put your comments down below if you know more about this report. It's a little underreported. Somebody in the comments said this, and I thought that was quite interesting. A fire alarm was triggered late Wednesday at Davos during the WEF while President Trump was in the building. Swiss news agency Keystone SDA reported. So not only is the cold storm here, New York could see its biggest snowfall in years. There's fire in Davos. I'm probably sure somebody big gonna get fired. Like, let's be real. This is how the Matrix be all crazy, is this wordplay and all that in the news, like we see in the Nick Matrix, how we got all the different Nicks in the ethos, like Nick Glacier, I think his name is, which sounds like glacier. It's like it's an iceberg. So Davos has the fire. They had the fire also at that hotel, the Crans Montana fire, as this massive winter storm with damaging ice in south. Heavy snow from Texas to northeast to affect over 230 million. 230 million. So stay warm. Dangerously cold air to surge through dozens of states later this week. And also the Aurora Borealis. We got the Aurora Borealis and the sun emitting a 20-year like crazy storm right when Davos is happening. Is this just because of some demons are like activating, or is it something at play? Is there some manipulation happening? This is the interesting report that I titled the title after. Prepare now! National Guard activated as 8 states declare emergencies ahead of catastrophic winter storm set to hit 100 million people. The National Guard is ready to help millions. Oh, that's good. Americans expected to be hit by a massive storm system in 8 states declared public emergencies. Now, you never let a good crisis go to waste. When these cold storms happen, they affect the grid. And the grid can be weaponized with cyber incidences that the WEF has warned about, saying that will be the new lockdowns. The Obamas also warned us with leave the world behind. And the Economist magazine, the world forward, right? So we're becoming a state of a smart city grid of this problem, reaction, solution. The solution will be the smart grid of just the AI and all that. So if the power goes out, I mean, that's a perfect time to test out simulations of what's to come. That's sort of what's on my mind looking at. Largest U.S. electric grid expects all-time record winter demand. Extreme winter storm threat sparks historic natural gas spike. So all these fires are happening. This is sort of out of the news now, but I'm keep looking at it, and the story is just so weird how they're saying that it was started because of a Guy Fawkes mask man, a man wearing this mask. And this is strange. The more I looked into this mask and, interviewing the great researchers that we do, please check out all the interviews that we've done with all these great researchers. Some were pointing that this is a controlled opposition mask and it's connected to some religious institutions. So very interesting that the guy in this report is wearing the mask, something I'll look into, but very, very sketchy what's going on. So here's the Economist magazine, the world forward. They're showing right here, I believe, this is the astrological alignment of this being like the top being June and this being the bottom being Capricorn. And we have the skier there. We have the skier fire. The humanoids were released. They're showing us all the humanoids. And then it's moving over here. And look, there's the ice and the fire and the Maduro being handcuffed. What's going on with Maduro? Is he still captured? Is he still chilling with us? And here is the shipping container, which is the biggest threat, the biggest target of the shipping container is the cyber incidences. So I know that's there at play as well in the simulacrum. So we saw the Aurora Borealis as they opened the World Economic Forum with a concert, which they usually don't do, but they did it this year. And they were just showing all these natures and all this beautiful imagery of nature and all that, playing the music. They were showing the Aurora Borealis. I think this plays a role. The ancients used to think that these were demons and that it smelled like sulfur and that it was bringing something strange to come. The sun releases the largest solar radiation storm in over 20 years, forecasters say. So that was going on during this World Elite meeting. The new moon started January 18th, the new moon in Capricorn, and then the Davos went down. So we've been covering how Davos does these rituals on these different astrological alignments, and we're coming up on the full moon, February 1st, which is the day before the 33rd day of the year, Groundhog's Day, February 2nd. And then we're coming up on 3/3, another 33, a total lunar eclipse. And we're in the eclipse energy right now, which goes into some turbulence. And the solar eclipse will be happening on the helical rising of Sirius, the most important day for the occult, one of the most important days of the occult. We've covered the August 10th through 12th rituals. So there's going to be a turbulent year. And we see that with the Economist magazine with all the chaos going on in that. and what's already popped off, and it's only 22 days into the year. So the Davos World Economic Forum with the 666 in the logo, with the Aurora Borealis happening all over the place, started with Marina Abramovic. This is how they started the frickin' elite ritual. And we put together a great video. Go check it out. It's the video before this on the video section covering this Marina Abramovic elite ritual. She does these rituals with Lady Gaga and others, and we all know other rituals she does, but I'm not even going to get into that, but it goes into eating food. But this is the bus, and it looks very dystopic, and it's all about silencing the loud world that is behind us in this world of just attention seeking. Everyone's seeking attention, and their attention is always being moved from notifications, from influencers, from all this. So attention keeps on moving, which lowers the IQ and puts people into a fatigue. People wonder, why are they in such a fatigue? Well, because their attention is switching, and that plays a big role. So just removing the notifications off your phone will keep you more level-headed without this attention seeking. And it's called radical stillness. Hopefully it's not the stillness of people, because that would be crazy. Aesop Rocky is another person I'm looking into, because these Illuminati celebrities like Katy Perry, who does the Ishtar rituals at the Super Bowl, accompanies Trudeau in the Davos. So you can see right here, why are these celebrities so intertwined with politics? Well, there's the religious aspect and the political aspect and the entertainment aspect. It's all mixed up in politics and ideologies. This is why it's very important, and what I've been doing on the channel is uncovering the ideologies of the elites, like the UN and the WEF, and it all moves to the left. It's like some socialist mind state of some utopian soft power. Katy Perry joins her boyfriend, Justin Trudeau, in Davos. Former Canadian Prime Minister speaks on the importance of soft power. What the heck is soft power? Let's see what it means. It's all about power at the end of the day. That's what these narcissists do, is the will to power. Katy Perry accompanies Trudeau in Davos. So this ritual she was doing, it's all connected to the Sunyata, and art is experience connected to John Dewey. They actually said this in this boring ass presentation, which only has 500 views. No one watches these videos. You look at the World Economic Forum, 1 million subscribers, and they're only getting 500 views. And then you get some bigger views with Elon and Trump, but those views are even down pretty much. They're not even that viral because it is so boring. But I've been watching these boring ass videos and looking through the different titles that are on the agenda at play. And there's so much at play for this year and next year with what they're talking about. And it's just this totalitarian tiptoe to the wicked smart cities. So this art experience was based off of John Dewey's art as experience. Now, a lot of people don't know John Dewey, but if you got Wicked Smart over on the Patreon, and shout out to all the members on Patreon and YouTube members, I'll be uploading Wicked Smart for Dummies for the YouTube members here, but this is it right here, Wicked Smart for Dummies, volume 1, 2, and 3 that we did 3 years ago, covering John Dewey somewhat in this on how the schooling system made us wicked dumb and super stupid. Now we're working on the wicked smart cities, getting a very good understanding on the building of this new technology of where we're heading. And I think it's very important to understand. So you know what's going on in the world. So please go subscribe to the Patreon. It's what keeps this channel operating, cheaper than a bag of Skittles, or to the YouTube membership as well. But here is a book written by Sutton, and he showed the schooling system connected to the Illuminati. Although we sort of fact-checked this with Paranoid American in the Illuminati comic that we did right here, the Illuminati comic, and we couldn't really find that William Wundt was his grandfather being part of the Illuminati, but it still could be, but it was very difficult to find. But in this book, and I do trust this book, that William Wundt was a bloodline of the Illuminati, and that brought on G. Stanley Hall, and that brought on Daniel Coit Gildman. You probably know that name because he's the president of the lockdowns, right? I'm not even going to say it, but the JH lockdowns. And he is part of the 201 boys. You know, the 201 boys right here? That was put on by that institution, but this was way before that even went down, because these are 100-year ritualistic, century-long centennial goals of the Illuminati. And he hired and trained John Dewey, where they're building this art is experience at World Economic Forum, which is going to come to a city near you. And then it moved on to other people as well, and funded by the Rockefellers and the Skull and Bones. So, I mean, very interesting stuff when people say that all the stuff I talk about is not real. There are some articles that are real. You got Philo's reply, the disenchanted member of the creator of the Illuminati, who wrote it all out. And then you even got U.S. presidents who wrote it all out. And then you even got frickin' Sutton's work, who broke it all down as well. So you could go check that out. Please go hit that join now button, cheaper than a bag of Skittles, or become a member on YouTube, and I'll upload that here shortly. 150 million raised for the cyber incidents and infrastructure surge. So that's kind of where my mind is with these storms happening. These storms are going down, so the grid is going to be wreaking havoc. So why not run some tests? So that's what I think could be on the agenda. The radical power of slowing down in a world that never stops. Somebody pointed out the Marina Abramovic Institute, MAI, is I am backwards, and connecting that to some sort of like theosophy stuff. Here's the bus, the all-seeing eye she's doing over at the Davos. The Davos, the bus. Yeah, so check out that video we did on it. It was pretty good. Pretty good. But she works with all the different artists. Rockefeller, Jay-Z artists. And we go over this in the Illuminati comic, how different members of the Illuminati were influencing music or even funding different artists. And we even go deeper and hide little messages in the comic. So if you have this comic, there's even codes. Right here is a code, but symbolically, the magic flute, which some say is why Mozart was killed. Yes, very, very proud of this comic. It's just so, it's got symbolism within symbolism in it. So, yeah, we get into the Lady Gagas and all of that, and really tie in what's going on in the past and mixing it in with the present, because nothing new under the sun as the strange Davos elites prepare now. You got the Board of Peace. That could be wordplay. I got some wordplay for it. Elon came on the scene and had some wordplay and said it is peace, like a piece of Greenland, like a board of pieces of different Greenland. But I think it's bored of peace. Like, yo, I'm bored of this. I'm bored of peace. I'm done with it, you know? So that's sort of what I think is going on. Davos 2026 opened on the musical note, kicked it off with the music, set the mood with John Baptiste. This is why I look at Billie Eilish. I mean, they're all political, and they're all part of this doomsday cult. And they have the leftist socialist ideologies with the movements that they support. Look at the movements they support and look at where the flags and all that, where it actually comes from and what it actually means. You'll see it's socialist, fascist, leftist stuff. Mike Davis, Don Lemon also, he got in trouble and he's facing Ku Klux Klan Act charges, which makes sense because the KKK were leftists. They were Democrats. And Don Lemon got in trouble. This is how things are so inverted. On MLK Day, Don Lemon faces a KKK act charge. Like, everything is so inverted. Also, the bored piece. Remember I was saying, I think this means I'm just bored of peace. There's even a board of peace. I wrote a board piece, like what Elon was saying, that is a piece, like a piece of Greenland. What if it was just a board piece, like a chess player? A board piece, also called a component. It could be a pawn. So this can just mean these are pawns to something bigger at play. Courtney Turner was showing how it's connected to the Technocratic blueprint. I haven't watched this yet, but I'm reviewing Courtney's book over on the member section, which will release hopefully by the end of the month to the public, but I'm still editing it. It's a big movie we're putting together. And going over the smart city grid in the new Gaza. So that's something I've got to look into and read. But the chess player thing is interesting, the board piece of the chess player, because Peter Thiel is the ultimate chess player. All the moves he makes is the 4D chess. You hear 4D chess all the time. That's because of Peter Thiel's Wicked Smart City. As AI, big tech, and Trump shine most brightly at Davos spectacle. The AI is the leader of Davos, and AI is accelerating the loss of our scarcest natural resource, water. So AI and water being all part of Davos makes sense because AI needs water and energy to run. Eventually, we're made out of water, and eventually we'll be nodes into the machine. We'll become nodes on a blockchain, on a ledger, but we'll be living in a pod, at least according to a lot of the Dark Enlightenment early writings, where this is more of a nicer way to remove the population. So instead of removing the population in a mean, tyrannical way, they'll remove the population by keeping them still alive, but nodes like a battery charging the AI, but they're going to love it. They'll own nothing and be happy because they'll be plugged into virtual reality. And while they're plugged into virtual reality, they're going to be living like a king or a queen in a simulacra, a false reality. And they'll probably be being pumped with a bunch of different oxytocin and all that. Who knows what's going on in this Ready Player One scenario that's happening here in the future. These were all laid out during the cyberpunk days. This is an old agenda of cybernetics and technocracy and the technocrat agenda to really make the entire planet a smart grid system of data collection. So that's why we're studying the importance of what's going on in the wicked smart cities and getting a nice foundational understanding. You got to have an understanding of foundational understanding coming from when you're building a building. You got to have a strong foundation. And that's what we do over on the member section is we work on to have a strong foundation so we can understand what is being built upon this agenda that is happening now. It's happening right now. And The Big Short, Michael Burry, he's been investing in water. I remember seeing this in the movie The Big Short, how they really pushed how he was investing in water. We have the Nestle guy with water, just other stuff to look into. A lot of these articles are dead links, so they get rid of a lot of links that are quoted and then they disappear. That's why it's good to get books or maybe download the PDFs. What's going on in Davos. If you're just tuning in, we're going over the Davos elite rituals. Prepare now. Prepare now as a smart city grid be activated to a manifesto. Okay. So the Economist magazine, we're looking into, we see right here why hackers are targeting the world shipping. You see the shipping containers that Kendrick Lamar likes to dance in his feminine bell-bottom jeans. It all goes into the Levi jeans and Sydney Sweeney jeans. Yes, yes. Africa is also very important, but maybe I'll save that for another episode. Having the largest birth rates and all that, and it was a big part of Davos that is slept on because it's that boring information. But we've shown how the Olympic rituals was showcasing how they're going to turn the grid off. Then they're going to build a bridge connecting America to Africa to Australia, and bridging the world together. And looking out for this year's going to be a turbulent. We're entering this eclipse turbulence energy for the August 12th solar eclipse, which is the helical rising of Sirius. This will be able to be viewed in Greenland. Maybe Greenland will be big in the news around that time. Maybe that's going to be there. I'll come back to that later on in the year, whenever that goes down. Trump sues JP Morgan Chase and CEO Jamie Dimon for $5 billion. Jamie Dimon is such a scumbag, and so is JP Morgan Chase, which is a national socialist company. They funded the rise of the Third Reich. JP Morgan was part of an aristocratic elite harvesting the virile energy and all part of secret societies and suppressed Tesla technology. And this all ties into the whole UFO thing too that's going on. China's Frankenstein scientist released from prison after creating gene-edited babies. Zhang Kui, the Chinese biophysicist who was jailed for creating the world's first gene-edited babies. Well, maybe we are all gene-edited babies. This is also in the news on the Economist magazine. Britain's good idea for custom genetic medicine. This is the whole pluribus show, where the humans receive a new code and it changes all the humans to become one with the singularity, becoming one of the noosphere, becoming one of the world brain. But we probably have already been genetically coded. When you look into the dark side of the CRISPR technology, what has been shown is that through this technology, it's shown that the number sequence of our coding was removed and then put back in. That's freaking weird. And then it evolved, which would take 100 million years, evolved in 7 million years or something. We cover that over on the Patreon as well. So all these different genes being in the news, I wouldn't be surprised if the Zach Brown band was at the Super Bowl because they have their chicken fried genes that fit just right. Bad Bunny is going to be honoring queer icons. Now, this is just to bring attention to everybody. You know, it's all about keeping everyone divided in everyone's throats, but you can see that in the color coding on the trophy. Yeah. Yeah, just some crazy stuff in the news. This was crazy too. This is the new Apple pin that they're developing to compete with ChatGPT. So right there, it's just flashing on you, but eventually this will be inside your body and then you can just see stuff with your hand. So instead of holding a phone, your hand will be the phone and you just look at your phone and then you would just tap buttons. That's what I think will happen. I didn't read that. That just seems to be the direction of things, of where things are going. So we got a lot of comments in here. Shout out to everybody who left a comment. We got over 700 people tuning in. We're streaming on Twitter. We're streaming on what's it called? YouTube, and we're streaming on Rumble. So please smash that like button and get this video out there. Anyway, it's Donut. Much love and God bless you.